So I asked ChatGTP, what is the most common question people have about diamond jewelry? So the first question comes, how much should I spend on an engagement ring based on my income? Well, simple answer is you should spend not based on your income, but how much you're actually willing to spend. Let me give you a simple example about one of my clients who didn't make that much money. He saved up years of savings just to buy that engagement ring for his girlfriend. So he was dating for about 3 years. 3 years he saved up money so he could go on his knees and ask her out for engagement. And I think that's one example where people don't necessarily buy based on their income. They actually buy on how much they're willing to spend for someone. So if you think about it, he wouldn't have been able to afford that huge diamond ring for his engagement based on his income. He saved up 3 years of dating savings just so he could buy the best engagement ring money could buy at that price, of course. That shows you how much people are willing to go out of the way to get the best engagement ring possible, because it's not something of a show off. It's a very deep sense of emotion. It's a deep sense of meaning you're going to have for the rest of your life, and even going to pass it down to your next generation. So something so important, people are willing to spend so much money even out of their budget to get the best diamond jewelry possible. But on the flip side, I had another client who's very well off financially. If he drops like a 10 grand out of his pocket, he wouldn't even notice or even bother to pick it up. Like that level rich client, he spent so little on an engagement ring. He bought a very simple gold band with a very small diamond just to say that it's a diamond ring. So he put a small diamond over there. So that shows you that people don't buy based on their income. People buy based on their willingness to spend. So it's a very deeply personal question. You should of course think about your financial situations, but at the end of the day, it's a very important decision that only you can make. So that's the answer. Next question we have is, what style of engagement ring would be best suited for my partner's personality? Well, if you don't know that answer, just don't get an engagement ring, because like if you're asking someone else what suits your partner's personality, then you probably don't even know your partner that well. Like I would say give it some time, spend more time with each other, get to know each other better, get to know each other's taste. So yeah, I think buying an engagement ring is a very big decision. So if you don't know each other that well, that you don't even understand each other's personality and taste, I would say don't buy an engagement ring. Wait for some time and spend more time with each other. Thank you so much. Next question we have is it common to involve my partner in choosing the engagement ring? Well, if it's not a surprise, then of course you should involve your partner, get to know each other more, and he or she is going to wear it for the rest of their life. So it's better if their decision of the design. It is actually common to involve your partner in choosing engagement ring. But if it's a surprise, then of course you can't do that. So yes, it is common. Next question we have is, how do I subtly find out my partner's ring size without spoiling the surprise? Well, that's quite a common question I get asked, even from my friends who want to make jewelry, that how do they find out their partner's size without them knowing? It's a bit tricky, but you can get around with it. The most simplest way is ask a friend to steal one of her ring, and of course give it back to her later. Take one of her ring secretly and take that ring to a jeweler to check the ring size. That's one of the most common way that you get her ring size. But one thing you need to keep in mind is that that ring should be of the finger she's going to wear the engagement ring, because girls like to wear multiple rings on different fingers. So it's important to note that each finger size is different, and not just each finger size, each finger of the hand is different. The ring size of the ring finger on the left hand is different from the ring finger on the right hand. So make sure you get the ring and she's going to wear the engagement ring on. So I'd say be careful with that, but that should be enough for the most part if you don't want to spoil the surprise. So yeah, it's a bit of planning and careful execution you have to do if you don't want to spoil the surprise. What you should not do to find the ring size is use these ring sizer apps, because these ring sizer apps are not that accurate, because each phone has different screen size and the app might not calibrated that properly. So I'd suggest staying away from these the ring sizer apps online, and you're going to spend so much money on an engagement ring. Why would you want to risk on such cheap tricks? Next question we have is, are there any meaningful alternatives to traditional diamond engagement rings? Well, yes, there are many. There's so many options available right now. You have green emeralds, you have sapphires, you have rubies, you have so many gemstones, precious gemstones and semi-precious gemstones that you can buy instead of a diamond ring. Of course, the diamond ring is like the highest standard of gift you can give as an engagement ring, but it's not the only ring. You can have gemstones, you can have rubies, sapphires, green emeralds, and make sure you're getting from the right jeweler. The thing about gemstones is that there's no really pricing system compared to diamonds. For example, on a certificate, you can easily tell if it's DVS diamond, and you can compare the prices later on. But for gemstones, there's no such system. So make sure you're getting it from the right people who actually know what they're doing and not trying to scam you. So yes, there are alternatives. Next question we have is, what if my partner doesn't like the ring I choose for the proposal? Change your partner. Luckily till now, how many ever engagement rings I've made customized for my client, she had never said no. It's almost like a guarantee from my side that such beautiful ring nobody can reject. But if God forbid she doesn't like it, then my guy, it's time to change. If you can't change the ring, then change the girl. Like honestly, like you put so much time, effort and money into buying the best engagement ring for your partner and she or he does not like it. It's time for a change. A big change. I'm not sorry if you don't like the answer. Next question we have is, should the engagement ring match the wedding band in style and metal color? This comes kind of stacking ring. I would suggest it should match in style, not necessarily in metal color. You can have different combinations of rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, but I think from style standpoint, it should match in some sort. Of course, style is very personal. You might, if I like one design, someone else might not like that design, but if you're gonna wear both the rings at the same time, you need to make sure that they are compatible. Okay, it's fine if you like the style, but if it's not compatible, it's going to damage both the rings. I had one good example of this. One of my clients had an engagement ring and he made it somewhere from London and it was not that great made. The diamond quality was M color, which is a bit lower quality compared to the one which I was going to make for him. And I suggested them, look, I know you're able and willing to pay a DVS diamond ring. I know you have the money and you're capable of it, but don't buy it if you're going to wear lower quality engagement ring. Of course, I suggested them and they still just wanted to spend the money because they can. So they went ahead and made a D color diamond ring and they went back to London and had the wedding. They got back to me saying that somehow the other band looks much lower in color when they put it next to my ring. And I told them like, duh, I told you it is not a good idea to do this. That's because a diamond ring on itself, if they're all the same color and it's very nicely made, even if it's a low color diamond, it looks fine on someone's hand. But when you put that band next to another diamond ring, which is of a higher color quality, the other one is going to look much weaker and it's going to be noticeable if the color quality is too far apart from each other. So yeah, he ended up keeping that London band aside and he made a new one from me of the same color quality. But yeah, he has the money to spend, so more power to him. So make sure if you're going to wear the same ring next to each other or near each other, they're of a similar style and more importantly, similar color quality of diamonds. Otherwise, the weaker one would look much more weaker than it otherwise would by itself. Next question we have is, what is the significance of customizing an engagement ring and how do I start? Well, that's like customizing is a very deeply personal thing and there is a huge significance. You get the fact that something is made, customized just for you, and when you wear it, it feels completely different from something that you buy, which is just lying around in retail stores for decades to get sold out. And that's why a lot of my clients come to me to get a ring manufactured from me, is that they get exactly what they want and they get my experienced opinion for which ring they should rather be made. For example, just I spoke about wearing two rings at the same finger. A jewelry retailer will not tell you all this because he has to sell the stock in front of him as fast as possible to make money. But where else someone comes to me to get their jewelry made, it is in my best interest to give them the best piece possible and the best advice possible in their best interest. Because if they don't buy from me, it's fine. I did not manufacture the ring yet. But for these retailers, they have all these old designs kept in stock, if you can call it dead stock, that they have to sell out no matter what. So it's not in their best interest too. So a lot of times you might come in a situation where retail store might not want to give you the best advice because they have to sell what's in front of them instead of telling you what's best for you. Whereas if you customize it from someone like me, you get the best advice and the best ring possible. And that feeling that something is made just from you from scratch is a completely different feeling than taking something that's already ready-made. So it has a lot of significance to it. And how do you start? Literally just DM me, or you can head on to our website jonga.one, because you are the one. Next question we have is it okay to buy a second-hand or heirloom engagement ring? Well, I would suggest not to buy a second-hand ring. Like, there's so many affordable options out there. If you can't afford a very big diamond engagement ring, you can get a smaller diamond or not get a diamond at all. You can get a gemstone ring, rubies, sapphires, green emeralds. There's so many options out there at all price range. But why would you want to get something second-hand? I would suggest get a customized made. It's not as expensive as you would think, and it can be ready within a week of time if you're getting customized made by us. So I would suggest don't buy secondhand, or at least get a new one ready made. Or whereas for heirloom, I think heirloom is a very good option. But the thing is, your jewelry has to last that long to be passed down to the next generation, which means your parents or grandparents had to have made a very good quality ring that's been able to be passed down onto you. At Jonga, I try my best to make the finest quality. I only make jewelry that can last more than a lifetime and you can pass it on to your next generation. At least that is my priority at Jonga. So if your parents have something to pass it down to you for your engagement, well and good, but please don't buy secondhand. Next question we have is, how can I ensure the engagement ring reflects the uniqueness of our relationship? Well, the uniqueness of your relationship depends on you and your partner, not what you're wearing. I know It's not good for my business to give such suggestions, but engagement ring or any jewelry is meant to express your emotions to someone. It is meant to store your deep bundle of joy for a lifetime. As human beings, we are social creatures, which means just communication through mouth is not enough. What we wear, what we make, whom we go out with, how we sit, how we talk, all these are form of communication. Literally, who you invite to your wedding or your birthday is also one form of communication. That person is important to you, and if you don't invite them, they're probably not that important, even without you saying it in front of them directly. In that same sense, jewelry is one form of communication, and it's completely fine if you don't do it at all. Of course, it's not good for my business, but your uniqueness of your relationship depends on your commitment, not on your jewelry, not what you're wearing, not what you're showing off, not your expectations of each other. It's all about your commitment and your love for each other. That is going to be the most uniquest part of your relationship, not a jewelry. Next question we have, are lab-grown diamonds more ethical than mined diamonds? Whoa. This is the question I wasn't waiting for. The thing about lab-grown diamonds is that they are not the same as natural diamonds. I'm not against lab-grown diamonds. What I am against is the false marketing behind lab-grown diamonds, as if it's the same thing as a natural diamond. It's not. When you buy a lab-grown diamond, maybe after 2 years you want to sell it, you're not going to get anything out of it, because mined diamonds are finite resource, whereas lab-grown diamond is man-made. It is unlimited in supply. A jeweler like me won't be interested to buy a lab-grown diamond from you, because there's new ones being made at a much better price than what you would have bought. Is it more ethical than natural diamonds? My answer to that is definitely no. When you buy a diamond ring, you're not just paying me, you're paying everyone who's involved in the whole process of making that jewelry possible, all the way from the mining to the extraction to the polishing to the setter to the rent owner who owns the retail or manufacturing unit. Especially the mining, most mining happens in underprivileged areas. Like for example in Africa, you are supporting huge communities over there who otherwise would never have been supported. And there's been so many false news around blood diamond, conflict diamonds. Yes, there was a time where these things were very normal, but in today's time, the whole process of mining, manufacturing and selling diamond jewelry has been so systemized and made ethical thanks to a lot of organizations out there. For example, Kimberly Processing, conflict-free diamond certificates. There's so much things that have been put in place to make sure the natural diamond is conflict-free and the miners get their fair share. And a lot of the information online you find is actually outdated information about diamond jewelry, because they want to sell you lab-grown, they'll try to demean natural. It's just a business tactic. So ethics standpoint, I don't think it's more ethical to buy a lab-grown compared to a natural diamond. There's so many underprivileged workers who got that job opportunity just because you were willing to pay for natural diamond. And these mining facilities, they fund their schooling, they fund their households, they fund their food, water supply, everything has been supplied from mining companies, which otherwise would not have been possible with a lab-grown. And a lot of these false marketing out there for lab-grown is that they are green diamonds. First of all, that's not completely true. Most of the growing of lab-grown diamonds happens in India, where the factories are run on electricity, which is made by burning coal, which actually causes a lot of pollution. There are only 1 or 2 lab-growing companies that get their electricity from green energy, but that's a very small proportion. Most of them get from burning coal. So you're not actually saving the environment by buying a lab-grown over a natural diamond, just to make that clear. Next question we have is, for an engagement ring, is lab-grown appropriate? No. At least that's my personal opinion. For an engagement ring, something that you're going to hold on for the rest of your life and going to pass it down to the next generation, I think at least for an engagement ring, you should buy a natural diamond over a lab-grown. Because when you think about it, you're something so important, that being natural, the story of a diamond, you're carrying it on from a natural diamond, is going to mean so much more to you than a lab-grown. Like for diamond, it takes millions and millions of years just to get a diamond made. You're getting that piece of millions of years of high pressure, temperature struggles into a piece of a ring. I think that story itself is so powerful. That's what gives natural diamond its real value compared to a lab-grown, which only took a few weeks to grow in a lab. I think lab-grown diamond is not appropriate for an engagement ring, but that's my personal opinion. Some people differ, some people don't. Let me ask you a simple question. Would you gift your loved one a $10,000 ring or a $1,000 ring? That's your answer. Why would you want to give something less of a value and does not even retain value to the person who means the world to you? So I don't think lab-grown diamond is appropriate for an engagement ring, but you can differ from my opinion. So that's all we had for today. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section below or DM me at jonga.1. I'll catch you next time.